Do you ever feel like the world is too big and your dreams are too far away? Let me tell you the story of a boy who started with nothing but a curious mind and an unstoppable desire to learn. He wasn't born with extraordinary powers. He wasn't born a billionaire or a genius. But through passion, determination, and his love for learning, he grew up to become one of the most powerful and influential people in the world. That boy was Bill Gates, a name that today symbolizes success, innovation, and change. But his story is not just about becoming rich. It's about believing in your dreams, working hard, turning ideas into reality, and never giving up no matter how tough life gets. Today, we will step into his journey. You will see his childhood, his curiosity, his struggles, and how his love for computers began. By the end, you'll not only know about Bill Gates's early life, but also feel inspired to chase your own dreams. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington, USA. His full name was William Henry Gates III, after his father and grandfather. He grew up in a middle-class family, not very rich, not very poor. His father, William Gates Sr., was a hard-working lawyer. His mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a kind and intelligent woman who worked as a teacher and later served on company boards. Even as a small child, Bill was extremely curious. His parents often joked that he could stare at something for hours just to figure out how it worked. This curiosity became one of his greatest strengths. By the age of 7, Bill was already devouring books on science, history, and even law. His favorite place was the family's small library, where he would sit for hours with a book in his lap. But school wasn't always fun for him. He often felt bored because the lessons were too easy. One day, when a teacher asked him why he always looked distracted, little Bill replied confidently, "Because I've already read the book." His parents quickly realized he needed more challenges, so they enrolled him in the prestigious Lakeside School, a place that encouraged bright young minds. It was at Lakeside that Bill discovered something that fascinated him even more than books: computers. In the late 1960s, computers were rare, massive machines that filled entire rooms, and only universities or big companies could afford them. But Lakeside had one, and Bill was immediately hooked. The first time he touched a keyboard, he felt like he had discovered magic. From then on, he spent hours in the computer room learning how to program. Sometimes he skipped other classes just to code. At first, teachers were annoyed, but soon they realized Bill had a very special talent. At the age of 13, Bill even created his first computer program. It was a simple tic-tac-toe game where a person could play against the computer. This small achievement filled him with pride and showed him what was possible with technology. During this time, Bill met a senior student named Paul Allen, who also loved computers. Paul was quiet and thoughtful, while Bill was energetic and outspoken. Despite their differences, they became close friends. They spent hours discussing the future of computers. One day, Paul told Bill, "I believe one day there will be a computer on every desk and in every home." At that time, the idea sounded impossible, but Bill believed it too. Together, they dreamed of making this vision real. By the time Bill was 15, he wasn't just learning, he was already earning. Along with Paul, he started his first small business called Traf-O-Data. They created a program to analyze traffic data for cities and earned $20,000, which was a huge amount for teenagers in the 1970s. This experience taught Bill an important lesson, that success isn't just about ideas. It's about turning those ideas into action. In 1973, at the age of 18, Bill entered Harvard University. His parents were proud because Harvard was one of the best colleges in the world, and they believed he would one day become a successful lawyer like his father. But Bill had different plans. While most students studied law, history, or medicine, Bill spent his time in the computer lab. He skipped lectures to learn more about programming and write code. One professor once asked him, "Why don't you focus on your studies instead of spending all your time with computers?" Bill simply smiled and replied, "Because this is the future. Computers will change everything, and I want to be ready for it." In 1974, while Bill was still at Harvard, something happened that would change his life forever. A company called MITS released the Altair 8800, the first personal computer. Until then, computers were only for big businesses, But the Altair made it possible for individuals to own one. When Bill and Paul read about it, they knew this was their chance. They decided to write a software program for the Altair even though they didn't even own one. Using nothing but knowledge and imagination, they created the program. It was a huge risk, but Bill believed in their abilities. In 1975, at just 20 years old, Bill made a bold decision. He dropped out of Harvard to start a company with Paul Allen. His parents were worried and disappointed. His mother said, "Bill, Harvard is your future." But Bill replied with determination, "Mom, this is my future. Computers are my passion, and I can't let this opportunity slip away." That small company would become Microsoft.